All right, so this video is going to be discussing travel while running an agency. And for the last 5 to 6 months, I've traveled pretty intensely, not straight through. I went home a few times and kind of chilled there for a few weeks. But basically, the agency was the vehicle that will give me the life that I desired. And for you watching this, it just comes down to what do you want? Everybody's going to have an opinion of what you want. And it is okay to get advice from others, but at the same time, it's your life. You're the one that makes the decisions. And I think it's really, really important to kind of figure out your why and why you're doing it. For me, it was to be location independent, to travel the world and to, build and scale an agency and many other reasons, but travel was one of the biggest ones. And I definitely think in the beginning of anyone's journey, for whether it's going to the gym or learning a language or building an agency or e-com or whatever it is, that the initial period of growth is the hardest. It's the most difficult. And it's kind of like a plane taking off. You need the momentum, you need a massive amount of energy and inertia to keep going. Newton's law, an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. And in the beginning, I was locked away in the basement, in my mom's basement, being completely honest, for 3-4 months, just getting it off the ground. And then once I got the agency off the ground, I was like, okay, screw this, I'm out. Because that's the life that I wanted. And so for you watching this, in the beginning, if you want to travel, but you really don't have any money coming in, the agency isn't steady, you don't have consistent clients and MRR coming in, then it's hard, it's tough. And my advice to you there is just simply stay in one spot, lock in, and get the agency off the grounds. Because when you do travel for lifestyle, if you're watching this and that's what you want to have a lifestyle of travel, there are so many uncontrollable variables that you have to understand when traveling that can make you get distracted, put you off course. And focus is super, super, super important. And Hormozy preaches this all the time. All you have to do is just shut up, focus, put the work in, and the results are going to take care of themselves. But when you do travel in the beginning of your journey, there's so many uncontrollable variables that you have to account for, whether it's where you're going to stay, what you're going to eat, taxis, transportation, potential scams, like things that you should go to, like meeting people, going out, social life. And there's so many things that you have to account for that are basically going to just take your time away from getting the agency off the ground or even keeping it going. And quite honestly, during my initial month of solo travel across Eastern Europe, I was country hopping like an absolute maniac because I just wanted to get it out of my system, if that makes sense. And I don't think I'll ever get that out of my system, but I think I did 7 or 8 countries in less than 2 weeks. And that was extremely intense. I was still relatively in the beginning of the agency space. I was making a little bit of money, but not enough to do travel like that because the agency wasn't necessarily off the ground. And so that initial period of like constant travel in less than 2 weeks was just absolutely chaotic. The agency plateaued, and that was because I just wanted to get out there, get going. But one of the things I wish I could have done is just stay in one location, stay in one spot, get it off the grounds, surround yourself with others who are also doing it as well. And once you kind of have it off the ground, then continue your travels, then start to look outward. But again, it's as simple as this. It comes down to what do you want? And like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, every single person is going to have an opinion on what you should do. But the only person that should be making decisions at the end of the day on your life is you. I see too many people living the lives of others because they can't really make their own decision. They don't know what they want. And that's hard. It's really hard to figure out what you want. And mostly it's applicable to people in their teens, early 20s, or quite honestly, 30-year-olds as well, because life goes like that. And if you can't figure out what you want, and if you can't set your mind onto something and steadily achieve it, then you're just gonna succumb to the life of everyone else. And people are gonna be living through you if you're not living your own life. And that's probably the most disastrous and regretful thing I can think of if you continue to age and look back on your life and realize, oh wow, I didn't even do what I wanted to do. That's fucking scary. So, travel. What do you want? Do you want to make 5 to 10K, chill, travel, keep the expenses super low, live in a third world country, live below your means and just live life? Cool. Do you want to scale 50, 100, 150K plus a month? You're going to have to lock in. Constant travel is doable. And one of the things I kind of picked up on some of the people who are high achieving in this space is, yes, they do travel like maniacs, but also like it just seems easy, if that makes sense. It's like the right amount of inputs equal the right amount of outputs. And you have to get to a certain point though where like compound interest comes into effect and just everything flows. And I'm really starting to see the effects of compound interest, especially on sales calls, especially with just money coming in out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but that's been compounding right over the course of the past few months with certain clients. And that's an amazing feeling to have. Now, I've been on the road for the last month to a month and a half, going to continue it for another rough month or so before I head back to New York. But it's quite simple. What do you want? And that's why it's important to create a vision board as well, because the vision board is gonna actually put on paper and make you physically see the life that you want. And this is something you have to do in the beginning of your journey. What do you want? And it's really amazing too, because as I mentioned in one of my last videos, as you create this vision board, you create every single aspect of your life in the specifics, and over the course of a few months to years or whatever it is, you're going to slowly see that you are crossing things off that you wanted to achieve, but also adding things on, because you aren't going to be the same person. If entrepreneurship is simply a journey of self-improvement, self-discovery, and over the course of months to years, you're going to change who you are, because wisdom comes from experience, and experiences shape who you are as a person. And so I would say it's amazing too, as you kind of continue to cross things off on your vision board and to add things on, because new experiences, new information, new goals, whatever it so be. But the point of this video is pretty simple. What do you want when it comes to travel? And me personally, I wanted to travel for a living. I want to hit 100 countries by 26, 27. And I just needed the right vehicle to get there. And that's what SMMA did for me. And so I kind of hope this helps with travel. I hope you guys got something out of this, because it is important to figure out what you want. And I don't think most people know what they want. And most people are just kind of dilly-dallying through life. And it's sad to see, it is, because I don't think they recognize it. And it's tough to be in that position. But anyways, I hope this helps, and figure out what you want, lock in the beginning. Getting off the ground is the hardest part. If you want to just chill and make sub 10K and travel, do your thing. But if not, then there will be a period of intense growth and just pure pain, quite honestly. But I hope this helps, and yeah, all right.